While people are coming in, I'm going to go through some quick directions about you're in a Zoom webinar. So there are some different capabilities. We used to have, I had some notes from some people in the past that participants, attendees couldn't comment or chat with each other. I found the button to click, so now we can get comments from everybody. So that's something new this time. But you're all muted. You're all muted. We can't see you. We'll only be able to see the panelists and their presentations. That's the webinar mode of it. But there are ways to interact. Like I mentioned, you can chat. There's also a question function. So as we're going through, if somebody says something that spurs a question, go ahead and type it in there. We'll deliver those questions to the speakers as we go through. So feel free to do that at any time during the presentations. And I think we're ready to get started. A quick little commercial for our next workshop. Actually, Tyler, one of our panelists today, is our host in Washington on November 7th. And our topic has to do with energizing local entrepreneurship. We have some great speakers from Missouri SourceLink. And also we have panelists in the afternoon sharing. Lori is going to be sharing about their commercial kitchen and how to incubate small businesses using various tools within their communities, within their main streets, helping support that entrepreneurial ecosystem. We have a great set of speakers for today, even out of state. Haley is here from Sweetwater, Tennessee. So excited to get some out of state examples about some Small Business Saturday stuff. But before we do that, I thought, we have a lot of new Main Street programs that may not have participated or heard about Small Business Saturday before. So I pulled, this actually was an email from Main Street America, I believe 2 days ago. They announced that it's time to sign up to be your neighborhood champion, and you'll probably hear the speakers talk about that a little bit. But Small Business Saturday started in 2010 with American Express as a way to promote small businesses within their network. And Main Street America became a proud sponsor since the beginning of that, and has worked closely with the Main Street network across the country to get that information out, to celebrate that day, and to help support those efforts. In fact, Haley in Sweetwater, they've won some awards related to their Small Business Saturday stuff. So bringing you those ideas. But the QR code on the screen should take you to the page with American Express to sign up to be that neighborhood champion. So feel free to do that. Or you can just search Small Business Saturday through Main Street America or through American Express and probably find the same link. All right, Kayla, I think we're ready to get started.
All righty. Well, good morning, everyone. And we are excited to have Haley with us. Isbol, make sure I get that right. Just a little bit about Haley. Of course, she's a passionate tourism director for the city of Sweetwater. I mean, hey, with the name Sweetwater, come on. And that is Sweetwater, Tennessee. She is dedicated to enhancing the visitor experience by partnering with local businesses and community organizations. She has a special passion for small business success and grew up in Sweetwater Main Street, where her family owned a small business for many decades. Outside of her work, Haley enjoys spending time with family and friends, traveling, hiking, running, and pickleball. She and her husband, Wes, have been married for 15 years, and they have 3 daughters that keep them on the go full time. So welcome, Haley. Thank you for being with us this morning, and we're excited to hear about what you're doing in Sweetwater.
Well, thank you so much. Can y'all hear me, Gayla?
We can.
Sounds great.
Okay,
Yep.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to participate in this. Like Gayla said, I'm very passionate about small business success. Our community in Sweetwater, Tennessee is fairly small. It is just over 6,500 in population. So we have to get creative in how to get our residents involved and keep visitors coming into town. We have been a Main Street program now for over 10 years, and it is a very exciting thing to see the transformation that has happened since we started the program and how far we've come. And you can see that in pictures, and you can also see that when you drive through town. So I'm very excited to be able to talk about some of our initiatives. Small Business Saturday for us is something that we make a whole day of. And we did win in 2022 the Neighborhood Small Business Champion Award for our small business initiatives. We start at 9 a.m. on Shop Small Saturday and go until 8 p.m. or after. So whenever everybody decides to leave. So some of the things that we do to bring people in and also encourage our community to participate, especially our youth. We hand out Main Street bucks. I'll explain that in just a minute. I've got a slide on that. We start the day with Santa breakfast. So a couple of years ago when we won the award, we actually did not have a Santa breakfast in our community anywhere. And we decided that we needed to have that here. We had it in our county, but Sweetwater itself did not have a place to do Santa breakfast. So we sold out 2 time slots that year in particular very quickly. And I think people would have probably came to more if we had been able to do that. But we start the day with Santa breakfast. We do pet pictures with Santa in the afternoon at our Depot Visitor Center downtown. We also have a carousel that we put up in our downtown area, which is partly sponsored by some of our local businesses. We don't charge people to ride it. So that's just our way of trying to get families to come in and hang out throughout the day and be able to have something to do. So thanks to the sponsorships and our Main Street program, we're able to offer that for free all day long. We do the Sweetest Street Sweepstakes, which is very hard to say. It is a mouthful, and I'll explain that. It's a game that I'll explain in a couple of slides. And then we end Shop Small Saturday with our Small Town Christmas event, which goes from 5 p.m. until 8 p.m. It is huge. It's one of our most highly attended events during the year, and we're able to track our attendance through Placer, and we have well over 12,000 people come to Sweetwater during those 3 hours. Our businesses report after Shop Small Saturday that they have their biggest sales day of the year. So that our business district, they depend on Shop Small Saturday. They depend on people coming in and supporting them during that day. They have increased foot traffic throughout the day, and they also experience a lot of new customer spaces that they don't see. We have had a lot of new people move into our community within the past couple of years. So any exposure to new people that will come and return is what we're looking for. So what are Main Street bucks? Main Street bucks are money that is free to both the customer and to the, and I'm trying to get this to flip over here. So it's free money to customers as well as to our businesses. So how this works, our businesses treat these the same as cash or gift cards. So some do cash, some do gift cards. You can see in the picture here, they kind of look like cash. They're valid only on Shop Small Saturday. So we only hand them out that morning. We start at 10 a.m. handing out $500 in Main Street bucks. And each person that shows up gets $10. So we hand out 2 $5 bucks to each person until we have handed them all out. This is funded by our local Main Street program. And one of the cool things that we like to do with our Main Street bucks is track the return on the investment. And we always have a huge return on investment with these bucks. What we ask our participating merchants to do is either write on the buck the total of the sale that was made using them, or we will have them just attach their a copy of their cash register tape to the bucks, and we add all that up. Typically, we have 4 times the return on investment, and not every business will remember to write the amount down. One of our businesses that always ends up getting the most money will sometimes forget to write the transactions on most of their bucks because they're so busy that day, and we understand that. You know, we just tell them to do the best that they can, but we do like to have those numbers because when we do our annual recertification to Main Street every year, we include that return on investment number in that report. We have to also provide these numbers to our mayor and board of commissioners, and obviously our Main Street district too. And we want to be able to show our Main Street program that, hey, our local program, that this return on investment is worth it. So we definitely want to continue to do these bucks. We have some of the same people that show up every year, and they're standing in line early on Shop Small Saturday waiting to get the bucks. And it's really cool because we've gotten to know some of these people's families from out of state even that come and visit for Thanksgiving and are staying in town, and even they show up and they're waiting on their bucks. So the community gets excited about it, the visitors get excited about it, and of course our businesses. And after Shop Small Saturday's over, we go around and we collect all the bucks, and then we cut a check to each business that that turned bucks in for the amount that was spent. So the business owners absolutely love the bucks. One of the things that I believe was a really big reason why we won the grand prize for the Neighborhood Small Business Champion in 2022 was our Sweetest Street Sweepstakes. So on your screen, you can see a copy of our game board. It kind of looks like Candyland because we have based this off of our brand. We call ourselves the Sweetest Street in Tennessee. And we have given away, since 2022, we've given away $1,500 with this game. And it's really cool because we'll start this game on Shop Small Saturday, and then it usually goes until right before Christmas. And anybody that plays can, the really cool thing about this is that your service-based businesses, sometimes that have a harder way of trying to figure out how they can fit into the promotions and how they can be included, they can be included in this. And you can see on here who our participating locations are. But the way it works is the participants have to get 6 stamps. They have to make a purchase in 6 stores. And when they get 6 stamps, they can turn their game card in and play as many times as they want to. So once they turn it in, they can get another game card. They can play again and again and again. We have people from out of state running all over the place trying to get their game card stamped. As a matter of fact, the very first year that we did this, one of our winners was from out of state. She was from Florida. She had drug her friends around all day in Sweetwater on Shop Small Saturday because that was the only day that she was here. And she got all of her stamps and ended up winning, and she was thrilled. But any business can participate. Participants must make a purchase to get a stamp, and they can play as many times as they want to. So people literally cannot wait until this game starts. So we're going into our 3rd year of it. We've already got people asking us, when does this game start? When are we going to get our game cards? And they have a lot of fun with it. And, it also rewards our businesses because it does encourage people to buy locally for the holidays. Obviously, with Shop Small Saturday, the big initiative is, hey, you want to boost your local economy. The more money that you spend inside your community, the more that stays inside your community. It's a great way to get the community engaged and your citizens excited about supporting your local businesses and the exposure that it gives them. And it makes people feel good to shop locally. One of the other things that we really like to do is get our youth involved. We have a Junior Main Street program here in Sweetwater that is an internship partnership with our high school. And our youth will come in and create TikToks downtown. They will create content, social media content for some of our business owners. Being a smaller community, and I'm sure a lot of you experience this also, it's a one-man show for your business owners. They're doing everything. And sometimes they don't have time to create the content that they need. So it's just a great way to get the youth involved and get them to know about their community and pour into their community and hopefully inspire them later on down the road to be involved in the communities that they land in once they graduate. Our pet pictures with Santa is an amazing part of the day, probably one of our favorite parts of Shop Small Saturday. And these animals are so hilarious. They come in, they get their picture with Santa, they get a little cup of whipped cream. And people are crazy about their pets, and we've had a huge response to that. And these things that we do throughout the day is just a way to get people in town, keep them in town, and hopefully they will spend as much money as they can while they're here. And we wrap up the day with our Small Town Christmas event. You can see a picture here of just how many people are crammed in a small area downtown. And our Small Town Christmas event has everything from hay rides to live nativity sets to live performances, vendors, a typical holiday festival. And we have thousands of people come. And during that in particular set of hours, 5 to 8 p.m., a lot of our business owners have more traffic in their stores during those hours than any other time. So they very much rely on all of these activities throughout Shop Small Saturday to help them get through the year. It may be their best day of the year and they depend on it. So we just try to be creative and think outside the box of things that we can do to bring people into our community, keep them in our community, and them spend as much money as they possibly can while they're here. And I appreciate, again, thank you, Keith. Thank you, Gayla, for inviting me to be a part of this. This is my contact information if anybody has any questions or want to reach out with needing more information, I'm happy to talk with you or provide whatever I can that you need.
Right. Haley, leave that up on the screen
Mhm.
so people can see that and take note of it. Wow. I mean, that's
Yeah.
a lot of stuff. I'm sure you and your volunteers are worn out at the end of the day.
We are, and it does take a very big army of volunteers. So we rely very heavily on them, and they are a big part of why we are able to do what we are able to do.
It's
Awesome. Wonderful.
incredible. And the graphics are so great. I mean, just so fun.
Yeah.
Thank
So I have
you.
some questions related to that. How much does it cost to put that event on? So you've got the $500 for the bucks,
Mhm.
but what do you spend on advertising and marketing and those sorts of things? Can you kind of share that a little bit?
I will be honest with you, we do not put a lot of money into marketing and advertising. This event for us has been around for a while. We have done Small Town Christmas for many, many years, and we participated in the Shop Small Saturday for a long time now. The majority of our advertising is done through social media. We do have a local paper that will pick up articles, and we do have a magazine that is based at East Tennessee, like in our area, that will do write-ups about it. But as far as like actual dollars spent on advertising, it would be less than probably $500.
Okay.
We own some of the stuff that we put out at Small Town Christmas, some of our inflatables and attractions we do own. Our biggest expense for that event is our carousel, and it is closer to $8,000 for us to bring
Oh,
that
wow.
in.
Hmm.
And we don't charge admission to any of our events either.
Hmm.
It would just be really hard for us to do that where we're located. So as far as advertising, we just, since COVID, we have not really spent a lot on advertising. We've just not gotten back to that mark yet.
Okay. Um, so it's amazing that you double the population of your town for that
Mhm.
event and don't spend a lot on marketing and advertising.
Mhm.
So I guess I still go back to, how does that happen? Is it you're getting that reputation, or it's the focused social media advertising? Kind of to get to double your population is very impressive with very little advertising.
Yes, I do think, like I said, because it's been a long-standing event, I think that people just know about it. It's something that even, and we have a visitor center in our downtown area, and we and our business owners downtown are very good about promoting and word of mouth, and they will put this in their emails and stuff too, out to their customers. So the reach that, each one of them sends out in their email notifications is more than what we even realize, most likely. But, I think part of it is just the doing this for so long, and the Main Street Bucks even, having a line at the Shop Small Saturday for them waiting to get their Main Street and seeing the same ones and their family is really cool. And I think they just know that we do it, and they are, waiting on it to happen. I mean, it's just, I guess the perk to that is it's been so long standing that we don't really have to push it too much and pay too much to get
Okay.
the information out there and
People
advertise.
are looking forward to it. Yeah. I have
Yeah.
two questions. One is related to, how do you engage the high school with your event? Do you work through faculty or through the administration? Kind of how does that happen?
We have an amazing partnership with the faculty at the high school, in particular, their media arts teacher. They have been amazing, and we do have a junior Main Street program that we started a couple years ago in Sweetwater. We have 80 plus high schoolers that are a part of that junior Main Street program. So we do have a good working relationship with the guidance counselor there and the principal and the media arts teacher, as well as the continued education teacher. And they have been so good to work with us. And part of our junior Main Street intern requirements are that they have to work so many events. So they're required to be involved. It's part of what, would allow them to be in the program and let them be in the program in the future. So yes, it's a great partnership with them, and they're more than happy to, they've enjoyed it just as much as we have.
Okay. And then have one more question for you quickly, from somebody who says they have a liquor store and smoke shops in their Main Street district. And do those Main Street bucks, are they good for anything? Do you have concerns about that from your community of using Main Street dollars? I know that that's a concern in some communities. In fact, I heard it last week from a new director.
Right. I can understand that. We do not have a liquor store in our Main Street community yet, but that is something that is being put in right now. We also don't have a smoke shop or vape shop yet. So what we have done in the past with the Main Street Bucks is we have allowed anybody that's inside our Main Street district to be a participating merchant. We have not put limitations on it. We've not said you're not allowed. We've not really had to cross that hurdle yet. It could be, I mean, you know, for us, and like I said, this may be different this time next year because we're in the process of getting those. But for us, we want everybody to have the opportunity to do that and feel like they're included in the promotions that we're doing for our downtown businesses. So,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that was the answer last week too, from one of our new directors, is that, you know, they're in our district. We're going to support them. Yeah.
right.
How do you pay the merchants with those bucks? They turn them in and you write a check to them?
We do. Yeah. They turn them in. We add up the totals that they submit to us, and then we write them a check for the amount that they turn in. And then, of course, go on to calculate how much, you know, if somebody spent $5 in a store, but they made a $60 purchase, then we track that through that.
Okay, great. Awesome. Haley, thank you very much. If there are other questions from participants as we go through, Haley's going to stay around until the end, and we'll do one final Q&A at the end if we have time. So keep the questions coming.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Haley. That was wonderful. Okay, well, we have Lori Hahn. Lori is the executive director of Downtown Joplin Alliance. She and her husband live in an 1891 Victorian home just outside of downtown with their 2 teenage boys. Lori and her family travel frequently, which we can attest to that, where she is always gathering ideas to bring back to Joplin. With a background of interior design and construction oversight, she has 20 years experience in management and sales. As a developer and owner of historic downtown properties, Lori has firsthand insight into complex processes of historic renovations and historic tax credits, which you all have heard from Lori before to talk about those things. This has served her well as she works within the Main Street model with downtown businesses and property owners. Lori served as president of Downtown Joplin Alliance before stepping into the executive director role. She also serves on Historic Preservation Commission, Capital Improvement Oversight Commission, and Chamber of Commerce Board, and Connect to Culture. So, Lori, let's hear about everything that's going on in Joplin coming up.
Well, I'm not going to tell you about everything, but I'll tell you about some of
Okay.
the stuff. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I've been in the director position for almost 8 years now. Was involved for several years before that as a property owner and a volunteer and things like that. So Downtown Joplin's been around, the organization's been around since 1989, but we just got accredited in 2021, I believe it was, or 2022. I'm not sure now. So that was a big accomplishment for us because the organization had never followed the Main Street program prior to that. So we worked really hard on that as I came into the leadership positions, and we're happy to get that. And it's definitely made a difference. Like Haley said, you can kind of look back a few years and really start seeing the impact of what we're doing. And of course, there's always lots more to do, but excited to be doing some of the things and making a difference in our community like you guys are. Small Business Saturday for us, we've always done something for it. A lot of it, the neighborhood champion thing, we've always applied and gotten those materials and then taken those materials around to our downtown businesses, retail, restaurants, things like that. We're promoting, we find out what they've had and we promote that ahead of time and stuff. So just kind of a general like promotion of the day leading up to it, shop downtown for the holidays. But last year we kind of decided to do something a little bit differently, and we launched a bingo style promotion. So a little bit like Haley, in that we kind of gamified it, and we asked, so that gave us 24 businesses that could be involved. So it's kind of a first come, first serve sort of deal. All of them were asked to contribute 5 items or gift cards, gift certificates for their businesses. And it was just that one day. It was just like, so people went and picked up their cards at any of the participating businesses. We promoted it, of course, ahead of time. And then they had to rush around and try to get to as many of the businesses to get a bingo and then turn in their card at the end of the day. And the feedback overwhelmingly was that it wasn't long enough. So for 2024, whoops, where's my card thing? There we go. Leading up to Small Business Saturday, we're actually launching it November 1st this year. It launches with our first Friday wine share. So this is we're not doing it monthly now, but at a 5 or 6 times a year we do wine share in a first Friday location in downtown. The November one was already set up to be our boutiques holiday open house. So we'll have some boutiques participating that night anyway. So it was a really good time to launch this so people can pick up their cards starting that night, and then we'll have them at all the participating locations as well. Basically, this is all through our promotions committee. It could also be through EV committee if you guys have a more active EV committee and that kind of thing. But for us, this was more of a promotion project. The committee basically reaches out to the businesses for the commitments. This is hard. This isn't like a one and done kind of thing. We send out this letter I've got on the screen here via email. We take it around in person. Ultimately, to get the commitment, I end up sitting and texting them individually. It's a lot of kind of legwork and stuff. That's probably actually the hardest part of this whole thing, is getting the commitment and making sure that you can go buy and pick up the products when they say you can, and that kind of thing. Again, the businesses have been asked to commit 5 items or gift certificates. We basically give them like a $20, $25 value range for those items. We did find out last year that if they give a gift, like an item, that they need to make sure they add their item, their logo, their tag, something on it, so that the people know where it came from, so they're getting credit for it. Our organization, we do all the promotion, we do press release, it's on our website, social media, our email newsletters, things like that. Of course, the businesses are also promoting it so that they can get out to their networks. So we then create and print the cards that this is kind of an example. This is last year's information. We create and print the cards. There's actually 4 different styles of cards. So they can do more than one, again, kind of offering them more opportunities to visit the businesses. The backsides have the rules, the participating businesses, and then the entry form on it. So once they get it filled, they can do a single bingo, like a single line item is worth 1 entry. If they do a full blackout, so they get every square on here, they get 10 entries. Because basically we do it as a drawing kind of thing. The one thing we did find out that we have added this year that's not on this card is that we will not be requiring a purchase on it. Last year we kind of left it up to the business, that if, that we wanted them to post or do something for the business, but it didn't have to be a purchase. This year we're going to specifically say no purchase required for the businesses to participate, because, and the businesses will have to agree to that, because it just created a lot of chaos last year. And there's some of the businesses that salons and things like that want to participate, that you're not going to go in and necessarily spend money at that time. So just kind of getting familiarized with the businesses. So we'll see how that goes this year and what feedback we get with that. So once the cards are printed, we also do posters for like their windows and by their cash registers. The committee will deliver all of that to the businesses, pick up the donated items, and we also drop off the Small Business Saturday merch at that point as well. So that'll be, the Small Business Saturday merch may not be in probably by the time we drop the cards off. So that'll be different this year. And then the public goes around and picks up the cards at the participating locations at their convenience, filling in over the course of the month. And then they have until December 3rd to get those turned in. There'll be 3 places they can drop them off at specifically. We let them drop them off at any location last year, and I would not advise that. It was really hard to get around to all of them and make sure that we had all the cards collected in a timely manner. So we'll be doing ongoing promotion during the month. And then as Small Business Saturday itself comes, if there's any specials and things like that the businesses are doing, we'll be promoting that the day of. Then the committee is going to pick up the entries, draw the winners. We'll select 5. Basically, we create 5 bags of the goodies that the businesses have donated that we'll draw for. So there'll be 5 people who win these bags that are worth a lot of money, because if each business contributes $5 item, there's going to be a lot of value to what's in there. And this is the merch we did for it. So these are the bags that we use for the giveaways. And then we also have the merch for sale at our market, and the stickers available and things like that. So we did not put dates. This is actually merch we printed from last year, and we're using it again this year. We did not put dates on it, so it kind of keeps them evergreen, both for our purposes, but also for customers to use as well. During this time, we also start we kick off our holiday decorating promotion that we've done for several years as well. So that'll start November 23rd. And that's basically, the businesses participate, they all sign up to do holiday decorating in their windows, in their storefronts. It can be inside, outside the building itself. And so we'll be marketing that kind of along with it. So they'll be able to kind of vote for their favorites. We do online voting for that, and just present trophies later in December. So those overlap, but it kind of allows us to transition from fall promotion into holiday promotion and kind of through that. And Small Business Saturday is kind of the turn from one to the other for us. Some things that we already know that we're going to do differently next year. We're going to start earlier to get the business's commitment, particularly since we're starting November 1st. It's quite a bit earlier than last year. We probably should have gotten all the businesses to commit in September. And we have not monetized this program yet. We will plan on, so now that we have a couple of years under our belt and we figured out exactly what our process is, I think it'll be a lot easier to get a sponsor for it, and to pull in some support from, banks or something like that really want to support small businesses. And then we've also had a lot of conversation this year about whether the businesses should be asked to further pay to participate. Is there a $20 cost or whatever? Because we are still putting out money for the printing and the time and distribution and stuff like that, staff time for design and things. So a few things we'll work through with that. But last year we did get lots of good reviews. The business and the customers enjoyed it. They liked the gamify activity. And we're hoping this year it will bring people down all month long instead of just for a day. So my contact and my email address is there on the screen, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Lori. I love your graphics. You guys always have really good graphics and merch and things like that. So kind of on that mode, you kind of touched it at the end. So it's $20 cost for the merchants to participate in the game. But what your total costs are, and how do you advertise the event to attract attention? And how many cards did you print, and did you give them all out?
So we're not charging. We have not charged the businesses. We've talked about
Okay.
it, but are not currently doing that. Just because we're already asking them to give, $100 of value in product at this point. So we were like, want to make sure we're not asking too much. But I think we printed, because it was just one day last year. So we're kind of trying to figure that out for this year. I don't know how many they've gotten. I don't know. I don't remember what we were thinking about this year, but I think we printed 500 cards last year,
Okay.
and just distributed them between the 24 locations. So because it was just that one, and we didn't get any blank ones back, but they were all at the locations. So I don't know that we would have anyway, but, we had, I think there was 100 or so turned in, of the cards turned in that we collected. So we felt like we had good response to that. The printing is not horribly expensive. They're kind of smallish cards, and it's double-sided in color, but we have a couple printers we work with that do pretty good deals for us. But yeah, and we do very little paid marketing. We send out a press release, and we'll end up doing 16 interviews with the radio and the TV and the newspaper and all that. And
That's fantastic.
yeah, we have really good response with our area media. They're always looking for a story, and
That's great.
And then other than that, social media stuff, people sharing
Okay.
it.
Had a question from the participants about how do they check off the squares? Do the business owners have a stamp? Do they just initial it? What's the process?
They just initial it.
Okay. And then someone asked, what kind of organizational structure do you have? You're a 501c6.
We're
right?
a 501c3.
Or C3.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Lori, how do you measure, okay, so you print 500 cards, you had 100 turned in. Are you doing any other measurements? Do you poll your merchants afterwards to ask about, sales percentages? Do you use Placer AI? Any of those sorts of things to measure the day as technology is advancing?
We haven't yet. I am really trying to get the city to do Placer AI. Unfortunately, they just signed a contract with Replica, which I do not like as well. I don't know that Replica is going to be able to offer the stats that we need for this kind of thing, but we'll be checking into that. They are just getting it set up, but we just got general feedback last year from the businesses. We didn't get numbers and things like that. But I think as we continue this program, I think we'll get a little bit more granular with what we can actually measure and how to go about measuring it.
Sure, sure. And have one of those, we want to make sure we include everyone questions. So there's only so many squares on that bingo card. You mentioned first come, first serve, but how do you deal with those that said, I never got your email, but I really wanted to participate? Have you had any of that happen in the past?
Not yet. I mean, most of it, like I said, we have to reach out 14 times to get commitment from the businesses. They're all so busy and they're oblivious. I also didn't mention Joplin's 50,000 people, so we have a really big community, and so people are a little disconnected. Even in downtown, it's hard to get the businesses to engage in things. And ultimately, like I said, we've got other promotions going on. They can be part of the window decorating competition. They can be part of, some of the other activities and promotions that we're doing as well. So, we just tell them to make sure they sign up next year, and we'll make sure we reach out to you.
Sure.
You're always going to make somebody mad.
And make somebody happy too.
Exactly.
Exactly. Thank you, Lori. Always great to hear what's going on in Joplin.
Thanks.
All right. So we're going to let Tyler King tell us all of everything that they're doing. But before then, let's hear about what Tyler is all about here. So Tyler serves as the executive director for Downtown Washington and a Historic Washington Foundation in Washington, Missouri. Tyler has a background in marketing management, real estate, with leading skills in nonprofit fundraising, inclusive team building, public speaking. Tyler has more than 13 years experience in event planning, community relations, media relations, marketing management, and holds a real estate sales person's license. He currently leads Downtown Washington Inc.'s 4-point committees: design, promotion, organization, and economic vitality. Sits on the Washington Historic Preservation Commission, acting member of the Washington TIF Commission, Washington's Tourism Commission, and is chair of Washington's Core Reconstructing Committee. And also, Tyler is a husband and a father.
Those are my two proudest titles right there.
Welcome, Tyler. Thank you. Look forward to hearing what you guys have to say.
Yeah, thank you all for having me. Again, my name is Tyler King. I'm the executive director for Downtown Washington Inc. in Washington, Missouri. I've been the director for 5 years now. I've been a part of the organization for 9 years. And a lot of the stuff that I'm going to show you today is going to be very similar to what you saw with Haley and with Lori. So let's just go ahead and get started. And the first thing I want to show you is just things that we've done over the last couple of years. Back in 2018, we did a downtown passport. And this is, again, very similar to what you saw from the other two ladies' presentation. But the way that we did this is I'm big on collaboration. And we collaborated with Lee Summit, Donnie and Lee Summit, another Main Street program in the state of Missouri, to offer a fantastic first prize, grand prize giveaway, which would be a stay in one of their local bed and breakfasts. But again, it's a very similar concept. We had 16 different businesses on here. If you went to the 16 businesses, you were able to get it stamped, or I believe what they did, they also initialed back in the day when they did this as a business owner to mark off that you had been there. And again, when people would turn it in, they would bring it back to our office, and they would either be entered in for the grand prize, like I had mentioned, or there was other prizes on there too, gift certificates and such. So that was in 2018. In 2019, again, collaboration, I think, is key. We reached back out to Lee Summit and collaborated something a little more unique. We wanted to get people excited about something a little different. And this is where we explored lottery tickets, scratchers tickets, more or less. And so what people did here was very similar process. They would go into the participating merchants. If they did make a purchase, they were given a scratcher lottery ticket. They would either say, sorry, try again. You would get a $10 gift certificate. Or even a $100 gift certificate. We had, I think, 5 of those that we handed out throughout the weekend. And again, you were able to turn that in for a grand prize drawing to another trip back to Lee's Summit. So getting them to travel to different communities was great. I forgot to mention that we really try to capitalize on this weekend because it's a very busy weekend for us. We have our holiday parade of lights the day after Thanksgiving, that Friday evening. Washington's population is roughly about 15,000 people. But we've noticed that through Placer AI, which you guys have heard mentioned, that we track, our Parade of Lights is our most populated day in our downtown district. The last couple of years, we've seen roughly 27,000 people in our district. So we try to get the promotion out on all these initiatives beforehand. That way we can capitalize on the people, the family members coming in for Thanksgiving and things like that. That way we can get them out and shopping the next day. The next slide. This is one of the more unique ideas that we've done. So you've all heard R&D, rip off and duplicate. Our local community high schools do something called a Blue Jay card or a Borgia Knight card. And this is basically a card that you can purchase for $10, and it has all kinds of different coupons for participating businesses. So we felt, hey, let's go ahead and try to make this a fundraiser for our organization, at the same time helping promote our small businesses during Small Business Saturday. So we reached out to one of our great supporters, the Bank of Washington, and they helped purchase all of the cards, the process to make all the cards. We did all the designing in-house. And then we reached out to, as you can see on the back of the card there, reached out to all of those businesses and asked them, hey, would you be willing to put a promotion on the card? That way we can drive people to your stores. So it was a win-win for everybody. We were able to make a little bit of money for the organization. At the same time, we were able to send them into businesses to utilize the coupon on there. And once it was used, they would just basically use a hole punch. It's like a little credit card. They would use a hole punch and punch it basically whenever the coupon was used. And that did expire after 1 year. So we tried to drive them into people's businesses on that Small Business Saturday. That's when we were promoting it, get them in there and use it early and often, but they did have the opportunity to use it throughout the year. I did want to mention. Another year, what we try to do, again, another fundraiser for our organization, it was implement t-shirts. Something with this community, they love merchandise and they love to represent their town. And we're very appreciative of that. So again, we try to do another different promotion where we promoted t-shirts. At the same time, as you can see in the picture there, my former event coordinator holding up a lot of the shop small stuff that we would get from American Express. So we would put coupons out for businesses, tell them to come down, buy a t-shirt, and then go support your local businesses, different coupons, different sales, and things like that. We've also put out Christmas music. We blare Christmas music when we're out there. We'll buy donuts, we'll have coffee, just to get people in the spirit of the holidays, basically, and then getting them out and about shopping. And then lastly, and most recently, this has been probably our most successful fundraiser, I guess you could say, for our businesses, is if you don't have a gift certificate program or a gift card program of any sort whatsoever, I highly, highly suggest doing this. And basically what this is, it's kind of like the downtown bucks that Haley was talking about, but this is something that we sell out of our Main Street office. So we set up a gift certificate program. We do about $70,000 per year. That's money kept locally here in our economy, that when businesses sign up to be a part of our organization, Downtown Washington, they have the opportunity to sign up for gift cards. And basically somebody would come into our office, they'll purchase $5, $10, $15, or however much money they want. And then all the businesses that you see at the bottom of the screen there, they can go and redeem those dollars within those businesses. So for example, if somebody comes in and buys $15 to go to Ivy Nuts, the owner of Ivy Nuts, Holly, will accept that money as $15, and then she'll turn it back into us for a check for $15. So the businesses they're not out any money whatsoever, and it's another way to drive business to them. And so what we've done over the last couple of years is we budgeted $500 to give out the morning of Small Business Saturday in front of our large Christmas tree there. We did a big Christmas tree lighting from the holiday parade of lights the night before, and people still want to come out the next morning and check it out if they didn't get the opportunity to go down there the night before. On the picture on the right, you can kind of see there's a little wheel that we have people spin for $5, $10, or $15, and they get really excited. We have a line of people literally waiting there in the morning for when we show up to spin the wheel, to go out and spend it in those businesses that day. So it's a really exciting endeavor. I had to put a picture of my son on there on the left. He's kind of our little mascot. So you can see he's covered in shop small stickers. So people get really excited about this. They love to come out. It's free money for them. Again, this is something that we budget for our organization. This year, we're going to bump it up to $1,000. We're partnering with our Tourism Commission, our local DMO, to also put another $500 towards it. So we're really excited about that. We get out there, I think at 9 a.m. in the morning is typically what we do. And usually we're out of money by probably 11 a.m. So I'm hoping the extra $500 will keep us going a little further. But this is just another really exciting initiative that we put on. I did not put my contact information on there, so I apologize, but I can put it in the chat box. And if you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to have you reach out to me and talk you through anything that we've done and go from there. But thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Tyler, will you put your email address in the
Yes.
chat while we're talking here?
Yes.
I have a question for you, but I don't know if you can listen and type at the same time.
Go
I know
ahead.
I can't sometimes.
Go ahead.
The scratchers, very unique. What were the costs and where do you get something like that done?
Yes, great question. So if I remember correctly, I want to say we spent roughly $400 or $500 on those. And we have a local printing company here in our downtown district, B&J Printing. We went to them with the idea. Actually, I think Donnie had the idea in Leaf Summit, so we just kind of piggybacked off of that and said, hey, how can we do this together? How can we make this a win-win situation? And so we went to our local printing company. They were able to get the supplies, which blew me away because that's pretty neat to get, your own little lottery ticket going,
Yeah.
or scratcher's ticket, I guess you could say. So if I remember correctly, it was around $400 or $500.
And do you remember how many that printed?
I think we did 1,000.
Okay.
And what we did is we took them out into the businesses, and we required the businesses when they signed up to make sure that they did make a purchase to give those away. On the passports, we never did require a purchase, but on the scratcher's ticket, we wanted them to be able to use that as an incentive to making a purchase in the business.
Mm-hmm. And the response from those were positive from the merchants?
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. And then again, we were able to give away gift cards and do that grand prize trip.
Okay. Lori asked about how the gift cards are a revenue generator for the organization, selling gift cards.
Yep. So really the generation of money for the organization, there's not a whole lot there. Basically, the money that we would make off of it as an organization is the money sitting in the bank account getting interest, which is very, very little. So we're not really necessarily worried about making money from a gift card perspective for the organization. It's more or less to support our local businesses, driving people to, to their business and spending money. I will say during the holiday season is usually our biggest time for gift cards. People come in and get them for stocking stuffers. People get them for their birthdays, anniversaries. We have a lot of the local businesses in our industrial park, our manufacturing facilities will buy them for their employees as giveaways. And that's nice because then they can come to our downtown district and spend that money there.
And the card that the folks purchased that had the different coupons from all the businesses on there, how many of those did you sell? How much money did you make? How much did they cost? Kind of what was the return on investment for those? We
thought it would go over a lot more. I was optimistic, I should say, in that endeavor because I saw what our local high schools did, and that's one of their biggest fundraisers for their athletic program. So we were very optimistic and thinking that would be beneficial for us too. I want to say we made maybe $1,000 on those, which, $1,000, that's fantastic. And again, the idea was for them to drive business to the local businesses. So it was kind of pulling teeth, getting businesses to sign up, but we made it very clear it's first come, first serve. I know you asked Lori that question before, is have you had to turn anybody away? We've done other projects and things like that where we have had to turn businesses away, but we try to make our message very clear that it's first come, first serve. Whoever comes, if you're last, I'm sorry, maybe next time, basically.
Right. Yep. And Lori and Haley, if you want to come back on screen, if there are any other questions for any of the panelists, please type them into the Q&A piece. A question that I kind of skipped over in being a neighborhood champion, and Tyler, you had it in your pictures. Tell folks what has been part of that neighborhood champion pack, the promotional materials from American Express. What have they gotten in the past when you sign up to be that neighborhood champion?
Yeah, so typically what you'll see in those boxes that you'll get is they have shop small bags. Typically they come up with a new design each year, so we'll use those as giveaways at our tents for a small business Saturday. We'll pass those out. You saw the stickers on my son for an example. That's something that they give out, and then they usually do cardboard cutouts of like a heart that says shop local. different coupons. They have online material that you can use. A lot of times what we like to do is we come up with our own. We might R&D their message, rip off and duplicate their message, but then brand it to what we have as an organization. So that's some of the things that you'll see. I've noticed that it's dwindled year over year. It's getting smaller and smaller. But I know the bags are really, really popular. The shopping bags are very popular.
Well, and I've heard Main Street communities, the Main Street organization signs up to be a champion, the chamber, tourism, all those entities. So you get more product that you can then use for that day. Is that a good tactic?
Yeah, we do that. And we actually have myself and my event coordinator, even, employees within the same organization, we both sign up. So we hope to get, 2 to 4 to 6 boxes of that information. So yes, I would highly recommend doing that.
Great. I think that the thing I like, Tyler, about your approach is that you're trying something new and different every year. And, testing things out, what's working, what's not, can we build on it for the next year? And so I think that's really neat. All right. Gayla, do you have any questions you've thought of? I don't have any other ones from the attendees. Just last call for questions. We've had a great discussion here. I think I've gotten all the questions out of the chat and the Q&A. But anything you have, Gayla, that you thought of?
I just think it's tremendous. And the quality, again, of everybody's artwork is, I mean, it's really top quality. And so you guys should pat yourselves on the back because it really looks cool and people just want to go and have some of that swag as well. I also know that some of our communities also have particular businesses that they make for sure that they get signed up for all of the swag. So you even have, your businesses. So, it makes it go a lot further. Because
and several of you mentioned it, and someone put it in the comments too, is that for many of their businesses, it's one of their top sales days. And so your promotions as a Main Street program is so wonderful, and really is a business retention. Lori mentioned it's promotion, but it could be EV because it's business retention. And so, yeah, you've got to do those things to support those businesses that have already made an investment in your community. I have a couple last minute comments. So Barb, I think Tyler put his email address in the chat. And then someone asked, American Express website shows 2023 champions, but not seeing that we can sign up yet. I will put the link to the website I went to yesterday in the follow-up email that comes out from Zoom, so everybody can have that. So I'll do that real quick. I do have a question for any of you that just came in too. How do you incorporate non-retail into Small Business Saturday? Who wants to take that?
Yeah, I can jump in there. Just any promotion that they want to give, whether it doesn't have to be a coupon, it doesn't have to be anything like that. If they just have a flyer on their business, our social media is really powerful. We highly suggest them letting us know whatever they want to promote, we'll promote for them. So using a hairdresser, for example, if they just have a business card with their hours of operation or their contact information, we're happy to put that information out there for them. I know it's a little harder for those service businesses to do those types of things because they're not offering a tangible product, but anything that they want to promote, we're happy to promote that for them.
Yes, and I'll add also, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to add also that we do for our game card that starts on Shop Small Saturday, we incorporate our service-based businesses on that because they can stamp. So if somebody utilizes a realtor or one of our financial institutions or somebody that you can't just go in and buy clothes or home decor, then they can also stamp the Sweepstakes card, which, enters their customer in the chance for cash money whenever the game's over. We also, with our Main Street Bucks, when we hand them out, we also hand out the Shop Small bag with them. We hand out so many of them, like maybe 25, and try to keep the rest to give away throughout the season. So if they want to put information in those bags that we hand out, we welcome them to do that as well.
Yeah, similarly on ours, but that was part of why that we liked the idea of the passport program because it allowed us to be able to better support some of the service businesses. Because then that's why we took off the purchase requirement this year too, because yeah, you're not necessarily going to go in and get a purchase from some of the service providers, but you can still go in and get your card signed on it. So
Great.
Very
Awesome.
good.
Well,
Well, we
thank you
wish
all.
you guys, sorry, Keith, but we wish you guys great sales, and not just that day, but throughout. And I'm glad to hear that many of you guys are considering it multiple days, just not just on Saturday.
Yep. Thank you all very much. I think we've taken all of the questions. And just a reminder to everyone, this was being recorded and will be put into our YouTube channel for others to view, or share it with your promotion or EV committee if they weren't able to be present today. And we won't see you again until January. January 2025 will be our next Mornings on Main. So we are finished.
But we hope to see you in November in Washington.
Well, yes,
Missouri.
at the workshop. Yes, our workshop crew, but our webinar crew will be back in January.
We will be there, Tyler. We will be there.
All right, everybody have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.